FC Barcelona, undoubtedly one of the best clubs in the world. What is the first thing that comes into your mind when you hear the name Barcelona? Messi, Iniesta, Guardiola, or maybe the iconic tiki-taka? I am pretty sure it would be one of these. But before Messi, before tiki-taka, and before the glory, there was one man who built it all, Johan Cruyff. Johan Cruyff is a familiar name to most football fans, and is many things to many people across the globe. The greatest player of all time, or the greatest manager of all time, for some, maybe both. But anyone who isn't aware of this legend will ask a question: why? If you look at the numbers, Johan Cruyff should not be included in such conversations, because there are players and managers that have achieved far greater things from a statistical perspective. So why? Simply because Johan Cruyff's contribution towards football is not something that can be discussed by looking at a survey or a goal assist chart. So here, in this video, I am going to discuss how Johan Cruyff and his philosophy influenced modern-day football and how he laid the foundation for Barcelona's glory. Before we begin, let me say this: I will not be able to add every achievement or contribution of Johan Cruyff in this video, as there are so many. So if you felt that I missed something, feel free to share your thoughts in the comment section. When we talk about Johan Cruyff, we have to begin with his days as a player. Born in post-war Amsterdam, Cruyff joined Ajax's youth academy at just 10 years old. By 17, he wasn't just playing for the first team, he was its star. But it wasn't just about raw talent, it was his mind. Cruyff questioned every convention in football and then rewrote the rules. Ajax was where both his career and his revolutionary philosophy took root. He was mentored by Rinus Michels, the man who would later coach him for the Dutch national team and at Barcelona, and together, they laid the foundations for total football. Total football was not just a tactic, it was the revolution that changed the way the game is played, watched, and understood. Instead of rigid roles and fixed positions, total football introduced a style where players moved with intelligence and coordination and functioned as one single fluid unit. Imagine this. You're watching a game, and suddenly a right back is dribbling like a winger. The striker drops into midfield to control the tempo, and the goalkeeper starts the attack with a perfect pass. That's total football in action, fluid, intelligent, and unpredictable. At its core, total football means that any outfield player can take over the role of another, seamlessly. If a defender pushes forward, a midfielder drops back. Everyone moves in harmony. Think of it like a chess game where every piece can become a queen, adaptable, dynamic, and deadly. At Ajax, Cruyff was the heartbeat of Rinus Michels' total football. In a system where players mastered multiple roles, Cruyff's intelligence and skill made him the engine driving the team's success. This approach helped Ajax win 3 consecutive European Cups from 1971 to 1973. The 1974 World Cup saw the Dutch national team fully showcase total football, with Cruyff once again as its shining centerpiece. Now let's talk about Cruyff's connection with Barcelona. In 1973, he made the move to the Catalan Giants, and it was none other than Rinus Michels who brought him in. At the time, Barcelona was a club in crisis. They hadn't won a single La Liga title in over a decade, but everything changed with Cruyff's arrival. He didn't just bring skill, he brought belief. That season, he led Barca to the league title, highlighted by a legendary 5-0 demolition of Real Madrid at the Bernabeu. It wasn't just a win, it was a statement, one that reignited El Clasico and redefined the club's identity. In the end, Johan Cruyff's playing career was nothing short of legendary. With 662 appearances, 332 goals, and around 250 assists, he won 20 major club titles, 3 Ballon d'Or awards, and 1 Golden Ball. But his impact went far beyond the numbers. Anyone who saw him in action was captivated by his skill, vision, and intelligence. The iconic Cruyff turn perfectly showcases his extraordinary game IQ and creativity on the field. Now let's dive into the next chapter of Cruyff's legacy, his revolutionary impact as a manager. It began in 1985 at Ajax, the very club where he rose as a player. But this time, he wasn't on the pitch, he was in charge. No one realized then that this would spark a football revolution. At Ajax, Cruyff didn't just aim to prove himself, he sought to perfect his strategies, refine his skills, and, most importantly, evolve his philosophy. The same total football he embodied as a player, but with his own innovative twist. When he moved to Barcelona in 1988 as coach, he brought this evolved philosophy with him, laying the foundation for the legendary tiki-taka style. Taking over Barcelona in 1988, Cruyff inherited a struggling team, but his vision quickly took shape. By embedding the principles of total football into the club's core, he didn't just change tactics, he transformed the culture. With him at the helm, Barcelona won 4 consecutive La Liga titles, but more importantly, Cruyff laid the groundwork for the club's future by focusing on youth development. This vision led to the rise of La Masia, the academy that would produce legends like Messi, Xavi, Iniesta, and even today's stars like Lamine Yamal. His influence redefined Barcelona, not just for a season, but for generations. When Cruyff's Barcelona thrived under his refined version of total football, one man stood at the center of it all: Pep Guardiola. As a player, Guardiola deeply absorbed Cruyff's philosophy. Years later, when he became Barcelona's manager, he transformed it into tiki-taka, a faster, more intricate, and possession-heavy style of play. But it wasn't just Pep. Across the footballing world, managers began adopting systems focused on pressing, positioning, and fluid movement, all bearing the unmistakable imprint of Cruyff's legacy.